What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Very odd game with the Clippers and the Lakers last night. It was just odd is the only word I can really, come up with. Honestly, I'll say this much. If the Clippers don't win the championship, Tyronn Lue would be the reason. Because the coaching decisions were piss poor and it really hurt the Clippers' chances of actually pulling that game out. Even though the Clippers shot, I think, less than 40% throughout the whole game, which is probably one of the only games they've actually shot that type of percentage in the last, several weeks because they've been on fire for the most part. It looked like a game where it looked like the beginning of the James Harden era, when he first came to the Clippers and they was discombobulated. They wasn't really in rhythm or whatever you want to call it. That's what the game looked like last night against the Lakers. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a sabotage type thing because I've got people, in my DMs and I see, on Twitter and on X, and I see a lot of comments about that. And don't get me wrong, it definitely is an odd situation because Tyronn Lue leaves. He plays small ball when Christian Wood is out there, just eating them up. Anthony Davis is eating them up. He still decides to play small ball, doesn't make any adjustments really. And that's the problem I've always said with Tyronn Lue. He's a good coach, but great coach. Like some people really actually try to give him credit for, like Big Perkins and all them. I think they need to, hold their water on that one a little bit because, like I said, even when he won a championship with LeBron and Kyrie, they had to go ham in the damn in the championship series against the Warriors. They scored like 40 plus points like the last three games to win that series, being down 3-1. And it took all that for them to come back and win it. So it's not like he made any adjustments. It's just the best players went out there and performed at such an elite level. It allowed them to get the victory over the Warriors. And that was that's and the rest is history. So, I mean, when you think about Tyronn Lue, he is a protege of, Doc Rivers, as I said, and Doc Rivers is not good at making adjustments. He's not good at, trying to figure out and counteract what the other team is doing when plan A doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? When you have a coach like that, the players have to play all out. And when you have a coach like that, that means players like Kawhi Leonard have to always be on point. He really can't have too many off games. And the problem is, people are going to sit there and say, oh, Kawhi didn't play well, this, and that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Kawhi, I know we sit there and joke that he's a machine, he's a Terminator, all that, but he's human. He can have games where he doesn't play well. It's just the way it is. It's an 82-game season. You know what I'm saying? Like one game or a few games in an 82-game season is acceptable. That's fine. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's one game. And to be quite honest, the Lakers needed that win way more than the Clippers did because the Lakers they were like 2 games under 500. So it's like, when you think about that, it's like, damn, the sense of urgency for the Lakers was a lot higher than it was for the Clippers. And that's not an excuse. That's just the truth. You see what I'm saying? I feel like the Clippers kind of came in there and, they played hard, but they didn't play as good as they have been playing on both ends of the floor because, they're on such a high right now. And, really they're playing. They've been playing their best basketball for the last several weeks stretch. So, I mean, you got to give them credit there. But, it's just one game. And like I said, I know it's against the Lakers and people are going to make a lot out of it. But like I said, it's very odd, some of the decisions that Tyronn Lue was making. I've said before, Tyronn Lue, I think he's a clutch client. I think he's a part of LeBron James' camp. Or he at least hangs out with LeBron James' camp, which is very odd in its own because you're hanging out with the enemy while you're coaching the enemy of the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a weird situation, I think. But, I mean, it is what it is. Taking Kawhi out the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game with the game being in the balance like that is very dumb. Because, for one thing, even if Kawhi is struggling, it doesn't matter. Kawhi is so good on both ends of the floor, he can catch fire at any point in time offensively. And on top of that, he can make a couple defensive plays that can change the outcome of a game. So it's always dumb to take a top 5 player out the game at the end of a game when it's close like that. It really is. And to put him back in with 16 seconds or something like that, I thought that was utterly dumb. And then, Tyronn Lue goes in the post game and says, oh, well, he's on a minutes restriction. I didn't want to do too much because it's a back-to-back. Well, what the hell has Kawhi been doing all this season? The first 26 games that he played, he was playing back-to-backs, 40 minutes. It wasn't no minutes restriction issue then. So, I can definitely see why some people might look at it as a coincidence why, things were so altered with the Clippers. And then, on top of all that, I think from what I saw, Westbrook and Harden, that's the most they've been on the floor at the same time in any game I think I've seen this season, or should I say the last, 10, 15 games. They ain't been on the floor that much together, in a while. So it's like, it looks like some sabotage type shit. Don't get me wrong. And you never know you never know what Tyronn Lue's deep down agenda is or motive is or whatever. You never know. But at the same time, I can't really go there because, it's like it's hard to prove that, you know what I'm saying? But, it's definitely, raises some antennas. I'll definitely give you that. I look at this situation where, this is, something for the Clippers to learn from some of their mistakes and, just learn from not going into games taking it lightly. Because if the Clippers went in here and really had the sense of urgency, their backs against the wall the way the Lakers did, the Clippers probably would have won the game by 20 plus points. Let's just be honest. If every time we've seen the Clippers with their back against the wall, they'll pull out games or they'll come out firing on all cylinders. And, with all the talent they have right now with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, on their team added to Kawhi and PG, really one of the big dogs should be able to have an off night. And with the other talent that they have around them, they still should be able to win games. That's the reason why they went and got James Harden, because of games, where Kawhi might not play well or Paul George might not play well and the others pick up the slack. That's just the reason why. And then, you got Norman Powell coming off the bench and all those type things. But my point is, regardless of all that, the Clippers are still a good team. They're still one of the best teams in the West. It's just going to be looked at as a high type situation because they played the Lakers and it's a rivalry team, and the Lakers got the victory, shout out to them, in which they really needed it. Because like I said, they had lost so many games. They had looked so different after the play-in tournament. It's almost like they're two different teams. So, the sense of urgency was high for them. So, it's a little less higher for the Clippers because they were on an all-time high the way they were playing and the way they were going. I still think they're going to play good, going forward, and no worries there. And I still think if they had to play the Lakers in a 7-game series, the Lakers wouldn't want that because, when you look at this game, out of all the good the Lakers did, there again, it came down to the end with Kawhi struggling and the Clippers not even playing that well. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, of course, the Lakers, like I said, they got the victory, but you should win by 10 plus points if Kawhi Leonard's not playing up to his capability as he usually does. But either way, it doesn't really matter. The Lakers got the win. The Clippers will bounce back from it and move on. But it's definitely an odd situation. And Tyler's going to have to get better with his coaching and adjustments, because if he doesn't, then the Clippers might find themselves in an odd situation and might not be winning a championship.